you get in a relationship with someone, you guys are couple goals. You guys look great, you do these couple goals. And I'm telling you, a guy who's in the closet, he will couple goals with you, my friend. Like to the extremes. I'm telling you, to the extremes, to pictures everywhere, to vacations, to whatever, the extremes. Because they want to overgive the image, they want to overgive the image.
Banyana ba jola bathong ba ko mabopane o itse gore boyfriend ya hao o na le boyfriend
Camera one.
ndithi
O le
ngwanyana o jola mabopane, you must know gore boyfriend ya hao e na le boyfriend bona le mo stembung and wena ko wena
Age for hectic.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, this is a real thing. This is a very, very serious thing. I mean, obviously not just in Mabopane, but she's just highlighting it. Uti there, you must know. Uti, umundu ako, unomunyo umundu, and I like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you guys are in a tangle, and you are the idiot. Hectic. What do you think of this?
I don't know why in 2022, when the LGBTQ community have fought so hard for people to be free in their sexuality, that people are still in the closets about things.
But that's the thing, like some people still uncomfortable with coming out with with their sexuality.
But it's.
But also, right? Not just that it's not comfortable. Some don't want to accept that.
But you know that being gay or bisexual is in fashion right now. I don't understand it. People have become more accepting of it now. Unless maybe in the rural areas they're still, well, not rural, but
Well, I mean, it's not like those people that are hiding or specifically people in the rural areas. We've got this issue even in the cities, even, it's like there are people that are still hiding and that they are not really coming out with their sexuality. And at the end of the day, you can't force people to come out with their sexuality. That's okay. But what the problem comes when they sort of string people along. I don't think it's fair. Like, look, nobody's going to judge you for your sexuality. If you decide whether you're gay or you're bisexual, that's your thing, right? That's your business. But like, you can't date a person under false pretenses. You can't pretend to be heterosexual with someone, yet in fact you're not. I think that's a huge deception.
I'm just thinking about now, which I find very weird or confusing, is women love gay men, but they don't like bisexual men.
Well, they like gay men in terms of friends, like, to hang out with them and to find, like, to talk, because they're basically of the same team. The thing is, as women, we want to date a person that's straight. There are women that are a little bit more fluid, that can accept a person who is bisexual, the more modern, I don't want to say modern, I want to say more sexually free people, right? They would accept like someone who is bisexual, but it's still not a big thing amongst women. Like, it's still not a big thing. But now, this is what I'm saying now. The problem becomes, it's a double it's a two-edged sword, because like, some women will hate bisexual men because now you won't know who to trust him around. You get what I mean? Some like it if only he will stay true to the part of her being the girlfriend, the one and only girl that he's seeing, and then maybe he is also seeing another man or other men if they're in an open relationship, right? So some would accept that. Then there are some that just don't like none of that jazz, because now it's like, well, I can't trust you anyway. You're gonna be like, well, these are my friends, Kanti, y'all are poking each other. You understand what I'm saying? So now I can't trust you when you're going through your boys, because I must be thinking like, oh, well, what I wonder what they're doing. You know, like that builds a lot of paranoia in someone, and I guess that's why those guys hide it. Like a lot of bisexual men hide that, because I think they like the image of dating like straight, like being straight and dating women, like the image of being straight and dating women. But yet I think deep down they do desire being in relationships with men over women. And that's why you find in those relationships, like those relationships, sometimes you feel them, they're so empty, like, you know, they're empty because that person has this desire of being with the same gender.
I understand the bisexual guys that are attracted to both sides. So now the men who are gay but have to hide it, and now they have to fake this love for women. Sleep with them, actually sleep with them to continue the facade.
Yeah.
It's so much effort now in 2023, considering that people are free now to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it should be much harder now to hide, because now there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
People post things now.
Yes.
People see you and they will take pictures of you.
Yep.
Even in these secret meetups that people do, there are people that expose people for that. Like, if they see,
like Musa Kaula's sex house.
I don't get the gist of being an afterman.
I think it's still like about it's family, you know, like maybe their families are still on they will disown you if you ever be, and some are just not bold enough to come out. And like, it's mostly the ones that are not so flamboyant that will still hide. You see the ones that are a little bit more flamboyant, more queer, you know, like more, you know, feminine. They come out quite easier because, I mean, their families have seen.
You can spot them.
You can see it, it's obvious. But then there are the ones that are more like butch. They are the ones that hide the most, because they will be, I can imagine a lot of things change, because let's say you had friends from like young, like it's things that other people have overcome, but there are some people that are just afraid of overcoming those things. Like growing up, you have like a group of friends, right? And these are your boys. You guys are tight, you know. You guys do things together, you know, play, whatever, you know. You guys are free, like brothers around each other. Then next thing, one says, okay, you know. A lot of the time with men, they tend to start getting uncomfortable, like, you know, around. Yes. So people, they're running away from being stigmatized and being, you know, losing people that are close to them because of coming out about their sexuality.
But then in those instances, it's like, we were cool and everything, but now I have this in the back of my head that you may be looking at me a certain way.
Nope.
And that's
unfortunately, that's something that does come with it. And it's like, those are the things that they don't want to risk.
Okay, cool. So the last thing that I'm trying to get your thoughts on is how would you be able to spot an after 9 or bisexual?
You can spot them. You can spot them. You see it like in the guy, like they obviously they want to be very hush about it. Like, you know, they'll try and like roommate it as much as they can. But you'll see it like, firstly, it starts with the intimacy between like it's like Gati intimacy, like Gati is this. I don't want to say to TMI here, but let me just talk with, like, it's like they're not about it, you know. They're not about it, but it's like they glow when they're around. I'm serious, like weirdly they just glow like around guys, and you just see it in the interactions like with people, and like if you're a girl, then they just like want to be alone with guys, if you hear it, like.
But then there's some guys.
Like.
Yes, there's some guys that genuinely like to
Wait,
be around their
I'm
friends.
saying there's
more than they like
I'm
to be.
adding. I'm not saying that's just one of them. Like these are just like it's a collection of symptoms. You know, it's not just one symptom and you've got the disease. No, okay, it's not a disease. I'm just saying generally in something. So like there are many like symptoms that you see. Like one, as I've mentioned, like how he acts around like other guys, you know, like of course, like guys, they glue really around each other, but like you'll just see like in a certain way, man. Yeah, but and then like when they drunk, you know, when you're drunk, you can't hide yourself. Then you start to see that they are attracted. Like now they can't hide themselves. Sometimes guys even spot the thing, but the other guys, they like that attention. They're not gonna call them out.
Okay.
When you're drunk, you don't hide. You can't hide that thing. You can't hide it. 3, during sex, you just have this desire of being bottomed.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. So, would you find it suspicious if a guy likes anal play a lot?
Yes, that's red flag number 1. But okay, you know what? It's like sometimes we just say, oh, we're going with it. You know, we'll be like, oh, okay, fine, it's all good and well. But I personally believe anal play is a red flag number 1.
Yeah, I think it's a red flag.
It's red flag number 1. Like that attraction to being in that hole over the other hole, my friend. That's not my purpose. Do you understand?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. On both ends.
Okay.
That and that. One, this on me, like that one also. Anal.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag.
Okay.
2, the other anal, me penetrating you, anal, like whether it's being it's whatever, or you know, hey, you know, there's these propaganda machines. We've heard much from shows like Oprah back in the day, like would say a man's G-spot is in the anus or whatever. But like, so if even if it is, even if it is, it's like a no-go area. Like it's one thing that will set you apart from, you know, being a man like this or being a man like that. You understand what I'm saying? So what if it is? I feel like if you are a straight man, that's not something that you should be interested in you know, in tampering with. I'm just saying, because this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna start it off, yes, oh nice. I mean, guaranteed you're gonna enjoy that shit. Guaranteed. But now it's gonna graduate from a simple finger or whatever. Now you start wanting objects. Now she must start putting objects and things like that. Ooh, explicit. But she must start putting like objects. Then from objects, you will have this desire of being penetrated. You are gonna, it's building up in your head. Because what are you imagining in your mind? You're not imagining this woman putting her finger. You understand? It will get to a point where you don't imagine that. Maybe the first few times you just listen to the sensation, you'll feel the sensation, you'll feel the sensation. And then when it starts becoming objects being involved, you're gonna start imagining other things. You're gonna start imagining getting dicked. You're gonna want a man now to do that. And then I'm telling you, once you go that route, it's very difficult for you to reverse or come back from that. Because now you're no longer gonna enjoy sex with a woman, because you've already in your mind, it's like anything that's forbidden, my friend, you want that more. You understand? You desire that more. It's like in your subconscious, every time you have sex, you're gonna want to, you know, you're gonna be thinking about it, you're gonna be wishing, you know, and it's gonna be bad because now you're gonna be constantly wanting to be around men, you know. Like, and then you're gonna start doing weird things now when you're drinking, because now when you're drunk, most of you have the confidence to do certain things. Then you're gonna start being weird, but other guys maybe won't say anything about it. You know, we've seen these things many a times, many a times, and we know men are creatures that can't hide. You guys can't hide things. So, especially a thing like this, you can hide it because you are not confessing it with your mouth, but your actions will give it away. Everything around you, your aura will scream it.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much to say on this topic because obviously I'm straight and I don't check for guys like that. And that's another thing that as well I actually wanted to add to this is that most straight men don't check for guys like that. They're not out here interacting with men and trying to suss out who's gay and who's what. So even if you see gay activity or gay behavior, you just kind of chalk it up to like, maybe he was just playing that time.
Yeah, because you're not expecting.
You don't want to assume people are gay when they're not and all that stuff. So usually we only assume somebody's gay if we are told.
Like when they say it.
Yeah.
Like our gaydar is very high. Gaydar is like the
gay radar.
Yes. Women's gaydar is very high. I'll be able to tell you on your friends or whatever that this one very suspicious or this one very suspicious.
Then why do so many women get fooled by the after nines?
It's not necessarily that they are fooled. Just like this girl is saying, it's not that every man has confessed to her. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But maybe she got played that one time. Maybe she got played the one time or the first time. Because when you date somebody, you don't, especially maybe if you've dated somebody and then you find out in the relationship that he's like an after nine or whatever, you don't automatically assume that when you first, or else you wouldn't have like.
No, you don't assume it like initially. But like, let's say for instance now, you guys, you get in a relationship with someone. You guys are couple goals. You guys look great, you know, you do these couple goals. And I'm telling you, a guy who's in the closet, he will couple goals with you, my friend. Like to the extremes. I'm telling you, to the extremes. To pictures everywhere, to vacations, to whatever, the extremes. You know? Because they want to overgive the image, you know, they want to overgive the image. And then like now you enjoying this, you're like, this man is like, you know, the best there ever was. And then obviously initially, like a person will actively put in the work to try and hide this thing, right, of theirs. Because firstly, it's not a thing that they openly want to accept about themselves as well. For the mere fact that they're hiding it. It's just that they've graduated from having these private desires to actually doing it, whether they do it with a friend or they're doing it with somebody else who knows the situation of theirs, you know. So now, but they've had an agreement that I don't want to be out there about this. This is what the gay men would consider a straight guy, but of which he's not straight technically because he's messing around. So this is the so-called straight gay man. So it's like, well, he's pleasing here, but this is gonna be sad because he doesn't want to be out there with that life. And then on your side, he's doing the most. And then obviously a person can't hide who they are forever or for long. As I said, you start seeing the sign. Over time. Then they'll start asking for certain things sexually as well. Like that you can tell are a bit like out of, you know, out of the norm. And because it's like for them, it's like, oh, no, man, it's no big deal. I just like that or whatever, you know. Then now you can be like, okay. But deep down, it starts adding. Things start adding. Then you'll see, hey, worst case scenario, you bump into something, texts or pictures or whatever, then it's confirmed, you see. So this is the thing, like it's,
So now what do you do in a situation where you actually find out that the man you've been dating for quite some time
It's-
is actually an after 9,
It's painful.
and you actually love him.
Yo, it's painful. That's why a lot of women
What if
will
you find out
stay.
in marriage?
That's what I'm saying. It's painful.
Mm-hmm.
You'll kind of like, some will accept it, right? And be like, well, let's see if we can work around it.
Especially if you have kids and everything like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you'll be like, well,
You just accept.
well, you accept sometimes, but then sometimes some people just won't accept it. It depends also on the person, on the situation. Some people will just be like, fuck that. That ain't happening. And then some people will be like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Like, how are we going to go about this? Are you having a particular person that you're seeing that you know, like, then is it that I have to accept that? Or are you a promiscuous, you know, person? You want to be, you're just sleeping around with men, you know? There's a lot. There's really a lot that you have to take into consideration. But in many cases, because it's like, whoa, we're already this unit, we're already this family, then, you know, you accept it.
Being an after 9 in 2023 is unnecessary, I believe.
It's not
And
necessary.
especially in the society, in a free society like it is now, anything goes. Anybody gets, well, people with fetishes get accepted. Gender fluidity, sexual liberation,
Yep.
all these things are a thing now. They're in the mainstream.
And let's not deceive people. It's not fair to deceive people. If you know what you're into and you think, keeping it a secret is not, it's not an option. It's not okay. It's not right to do. It's unfair on the other person. You need to come out with that. You need to tell them and then let them decide what they do with the information.
Well, you guys let us know what you think about this topic.
If you had any personal experiences as well,
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
and keep watching. Bye.
See you guys in the next one.